The housing market in Northeast Mississippi is expected to feel the impact of rising mortgage rates. This morning, we have a live interview with Mr. Rick McGill, president of the Greater Golden Triangle Real Estate Association. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, how do you think the rising mortgage rates will affect the housing market here in Northeast Mississippi?
Well, I definitely think it's going to slow it down. We're already beginning to see that. I've been doing this for 43 years, and we had gotten to the lowest inventory amount in the history since I've been in the association. We had gotten down as low as 214. As of right before this interview, we're up to 311. So you can already feel the impact of it slowing down. Now, I think it actually needed to slow down just a little bit, but I think we're going to still be in good shape, for the coming months.
And those prices, what do you think about Mississippi home prices rising about 10 to 15% from April of last year to this April?
That's the largest increase in value that I've ever seen since I've been in the business. Mississippi usually has very low valleys and very small peaks, whereas your larger cities will peak, and then when the market fails, they'll have great valleys. I'm proud for the sellers during this time, but it put a burden on the market. Now, with the interest rates rising a little bit, that has eased up, and we're seeing a fact that we're not seeing hardly any new housing, a small amount of new housing, but the existing housing, I feel like, is going to be in good shape even with the rates going up.
Yeah. And I know you're in the Golden Triangle area, but here in Tupelo, we have the Joyner subdivision. I don't know if you're very familiar with it, but
I am.
I have several friends who are going through the home buying experience for the first time, and in that neighborhood that is really good. It has smaller homes that are perfect for a small family. Those prices are just crazy high right now. I mean, I have friends selling homes, and they bought it for this price and didn't expect they'd be selling it for the price they have now. Now, you touched on this a little bit. Do you expect those prices to continue to increase?
I think they're going to stabilize. We've seen that same market here in West Point, Columbus, and Starkville, especially in Starkville. I mean, some of the prices there just absolutely would surprise me. We're over 8 counties here with the Golden Triangle Association, and it's been that same way. Even areas here, Caledonia's been one of the hottest areas, and prices have just continued and continued and continued. And I don't blame the sellers,
right,
for wanting to take advantage of it. The only problem is what are they going to buy? Once they sell, what are they going to buy? They're going to have to pay that. So you got to play the market just right. But yes, I think it's going to slow down a little bit. I think that increase is going to level out. I don't think, from what I've studied from the National Association of Realtors, I don't think that we're going to see a large fall off and decrease in prices because of the building costs. I still think the existing houses are going to be accessible, and I think that it's going to be a stable price. I don't think it'll continue to grow.
Yeah. And that was one thing. I had lunch with some girlfriends of mine, and one of them made the statement that if you are going to sell your house, you have got to have a house that you plan on buying in mind. Now, with this market, is it cheaper to rent than purchase?
No, rental prices have gone through the roof because of this crisis. Rental prices have just absolutely gone through the roof. The local real estate management companies, I have spoken with them, and every one of them said they've had large increases also, and the inventory for them is down to nothing. So it's created this whole bubble in this whole market because of these prices.
Yeah. And one more question is about loans and that process. I guess what I'm trying to ask is what impact will the mortgage rates have on getting a loan?
Good question. To my great sorrow, it's going to affect first-time home buyers worse than anything. They've worked, usually it's two in the household working to get to where they are. It's going to be a younger couple usually, and they really want to buy the American dream. And the higher rates, the higher those rates go, the less they can afford. So they're in a catch right there. What we're trying to hope for is that there's going to be some programs developed, for these first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
But that's been the biggest thing I've noticed so far. If they were qualified for a $150,000 house before these rates, they're qualifying for a $120,000 house now, and it's there's just not any out there. So
Yeah.
it really pinches that part of the market extremely.
Well, Mr. Miguel, this has been very insightful this morning. We do appreciate your time.